For 6 to 10 years, you're a little more established. You're on your third or fourth deal. And what we found out was that in 2021, about a fifth of the industry was making less than 80. Now, based on our information, everyone at this experience level is making north of 80. That's everyone that responded. Again, we got about 20% of the scouting community. We feel like that's a decent representation. We'd like a lot more than that, but at least we're making progress, and you're hearing from some of y'all. We've also seen a pretty steady progression of scouts getting paid at the top level. Again, that's 125 plus for us. That's as high as we go. About a fifth of the scouts to about a third are more than half are getting, I'm sorry, from about a third to more than half are getting paid 125 plus. We thought that was pretty good. We probably need to retool the survey for next year so that we can really get a better measure of what that ceiling is. The difficulty we're facing is we're only measuring by experience level and not by title. And I think to some degree title is a determinant when it comes to what you're getting paid. But it's really difficult to measure this because every team, or most teams, do things a little differently. And we've got both ends of the spectrum where Cincinnati is a real outlier, and then the Browns, who have a pretty heavy staff, a heavier staff than almost anyone out there. And so it's just really hard to measure, I guess is what I'm trying to say, but we're working on it. We're trying to get better. I think that we're on a trend where we'll probably even get better numbers next year. We'll see. But I feel like we're going in a good direction. Hopefully with COVID behind us, knock on wood, things will get even better. Again, fingers crossed there. Jeff, you're real popular tonight. Okay, so 11 to 15, now you're a very seasoned scout. This is probably where you're starting to get into director level. Again, we can't really designate for that yet in an anonymous survey. And we're getting fewer respondents at this group. I think that's one reason the attrition is, there are fewer scouts that if they're not on a GM path, they're not director, then this is where a lot of guys are getting let go. Unfortunately, it's the reality of the game right now. What we found pretty much, if you make it past a decade in the game, you're definitely at 125 or north of that. So if you're not making 125, you're one of those people in that group who've been here more than a decade. You need to be making a little bit more dough. There are some in that 80 to 100 range, but again, the vast, overwhelming majority are making 125 plus. And then that's true for the 16 pluses as well. Again, this is kind of National Scout Director VP territory, and I wish we could tell you more about what those upper range numbers are, and I get those questions all the time. I'm just really kind of bound by the limitations of an anonymous survey, and we value the privacy and security of everyone who takes a survey. We appreciate everyone who responds, and right now that's been kind of our limiting factor. We're trying to figure out how to get around that, and I'm hoping as the survey becomes more known and more popular and people are a little bit more accepting of it, then we can do things differently to get better numbers. For right now, this is kind of where we are, but we're trying. Next one. Next year, we're looking at maybe a Pro Scouts versus College Scouts survey. I think that'd be something I would like to see anyway, to see kind of how they measure up. I think they're going to be similar, but we won't know until we ask. We also want to try to aim at jobs rather than experience level, which is something I kind of alluded to and kind of discussed. We may ask respondents to include their teams. That's going to be a real big ask, and I'm not sure if we're going to get anywhere with that, but we may. Maybe we make it optional. I'm not sure. It's just, as always, the balance between transparency and confidentiality, and that's a battle that we're fighting with this thing every year. When I start sending these things out in January, I always wonder, are we going too heavy in one direction or the other? Hopefully we're striking a balance, and hopefully we're providing you information that will benefit you. I'm wide open for ideas if y'all have any. I want to make this the very best survey that we possibly can. It's for y'all after all. So please don't hesitate to give me ideas or feedback or whatever if you have it. I really want to make this something that's a big part of the game and something that y'all kind of lean on when it's time to negotiate your next contract. Okay. We get the lights, please.